We often hear this comment from so many people that you should take risk in your life. Unless you take risk, your life will not change. So it's a very common saying, and theoretically, we all agree that yes, we have to take risk in our life at times to really change our life or to alter the course of our life. But practically, we are not able to do that. So why is that? Why are we afraid to take the risk? So basically, there are a couple of reasons for this. First of all, when we say or when we hear that we have to take a risk, that means we imagine that we have to take some big risk. Like it has to be regarding some only regarding some major decisions in our life, and then it will be a big risk. And so, what if it fails? Because if it's a big risk, then we have to. I mean, the consequences are also big if it fails, right? So basically, we are afraid of taking risk because we think that taking risk means only taking big risks, or taking risk means changing the only the major life circumstances. But in reality, that is not what it means. When we say we have to take a risk, that means it can apply to the smallest of the small things also in our life, whatever you do on a day-to-day basis. If you feel that, for example, you have been doing something in a certain way over a period of years, and now you want to try or you want to do it in a different way from tomorrow. So changing that way or pattern of doing that particular thing from tomorrow is also a risk, because it might I mean, you might succeed or it might fail. You don't know, right? There is a 50-50% chances. So risk can involve even the smallest of the small things also in your day-to-day life. This is one thing why we are afraid to take risk. Second reason why we are afraid to take risk is that risk involves going into the unknown. Because when you are taking a risk, for example, consider an example that you want to change your location. Okay, you want to go to a new city or to a new country and you want to relocate basically. So that's a risk, because that might work out, that might not work out. That country or that environment of that country might suit you, it may not suit you. You might feel comfortable or you might not feel comfortable. So anything is possible, right? Unless you do that, unless you go there, unless you settle yourself, unless you actually physically relocate and start living there, you don't know, right, whether it will work out or not. So taking risk involves going into the unknown, walking an unknown path, diving into the unknowns, or we can say going on a path where you don't know what will happen. And human mind is, we can say, conditioned in such a way that we always want to cling to what is comfortable or what is familiar, even when we know that it's no longer working or it has to fall away from our life. We deserve much better than this, we all know that. But our mind is conditioned in such a way that we always try to cling to what is familiar, even if it is not resonating anymore, even if it is causing a lot of problems, even if we are not moving ahead in our life because of that. Still we are clinging to that just because it feels comfortable. We know everything about that, or everything about that life scenario or life situation. And so even though it's not working out in our favor, just because it is familiar, we try to cling to it. And when it comes to taking a risk, or going into the unknown, or you might be knowing that that might be the best decision in your life, or that mostly that will prove to be a correct decision and your life will change drastically or shift in a positive way. But just because it is unknown, you don't know what will happen, and that's why your mind creates these fears that what if I fail, what if it doesn't work out, what will happen. So this is the second reason why we are afraid to take a risk, because we are afraid of the unknown. So let me tell you, my friends, that if you really want your life, or we can say any aspect of your life, to change or actually shift in a positive way once and for all, then you have to take risk. Then it can be a small risk or it can be a big risk. It can involve a minor day-to-day activity which you are doing every day and now you are doing it in a new way from tomorrow onwards. Or it might be a big shift or a major change in your life, like as I gave an example of relocating to a new city or a new country, or changing your career path, or maybe regarding relationships, whatever it might be. So it can be a small risk, or it might be a big risk. But if you feel that that particular aspect of your life or this particular circumstance of your life needs an immediate and major shift, then you have to take risk. And basically, like when you are changing something, when you are planning some change or shift in your life, then you can plan it, what is known popularly as calculated risk. Like, I'm not saying that you just, you get something in your mind and then next day you go and do it without thinking about it. You think about it carefully, you plan activities, what you want to do, what are the pros and cons of what you are planning to do, vis-a-vis what are the pros and cons of continuing in the same way. Then if you want that change to happen in your life, then what steps exactly you need to take in order to achieve that. So basically you can plan everything, you can understand what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages, what is commonly known as the benefit risk analysis. You can think about it carefully and then you can go for it. So you can take a calculated risk, but taking that step into the unknown at times is the most crucial thing. So, friends, I would suggest you that don't shy away from doing that. Just because you are accustomed to living your life in one particular way, and just because it feels familiar, comfortable, don't prevent yourself or stop yourself from going into the unknown. If you know what you are going to do, why you are going to do that, and why it is important for you, then you must take that first step into the unknown. You must change your life. You must take the risk.